man, that looks great. I likey. I did cheat. I started it up a minute ago to see how it sounds. Oh, it's glorious. I didn't get the readings off of it, but we're going to find out. So there's the new sound, and it's actually quieter at idle than the factory exhaust. How is that possible with such a small can? I love it. Look at this. All right, happy afternoon to you all. Today is the day that the Hunter gets a new exhaust. I worked with Coffman's exhaust out in California, and they sent me a prototype. I sent them a bunch of measurements, of the exhaust pipe diameter and spacing and, orientation and all that. And they sent me this. Coffman's exhaust, Hunter, Special Order Universal. So we're hoping that this has the correct neck or inlet size to mate up to the pipe on the Hunter. And I'm going to take some measurements for weight. Haven't organized all my stuff here. We're going to weigh the factory exhaust in its assorted pieces, and then weigh the Coffman's and have some numbers and figures to work off of. So without further ado, I'm going to get this thing started, get it warmed up to operating temperature, and then I'm going to take some dB readings with my Reed R8060 dB meter. And pardon all the background noise, this is a busy street. And I'll be recording all the action with my Zoom H5, just like I did for the Rebel 1100 exhaust tests that I did. And I'm using the official test procedure of having the recording apparatus 50 centimeters back, which is roughly 20 inches, 19.68 inches back. I'm exactly 19.68 inches from the ground on my measuring devices here, middle of the microphones, 19.68, 19.75 roughly, and the distance is right there. Right at 20 inches, just over. So the measurement procedure says that it needs to be at an oblique angle, about 45 degrees offset, so you're not directly on the puffs of the exhaust, so you get a reasonable representation of the real sound level. So that's what we're going to do, same as I did last time, but now it's on the Hunter. Goody goody. Let this get warmed up before I do my official readings, but just do some prelims here. So it looks like we're about 94 dB, somewhere in that range for the factory exhaust. You're supposed to run up to 50% of the engine maximum RPM. We have no idea what the RPM is on the Hunter because there's no tachometer. So hopefully I'll just, kind of do it by ear. I've never bounced this thing off the rev limiter. I'd rather not, but I might go ahead and run it up to just the rev limiter for the full throttle readings like I did the last time. So we'll do idle, 50% throttle, and then blips. I'll let it get warmed up first. Okay, let the bike idle for about 4 or 5 minutes. Got good and warm. It's not full of operating temperature yet, but it's pretty warm. Warm enough I don't want to grab that exhaust. Okay, so here we go. We're going to reset out my meters. Min max, max 92, minimum 4. And I've forgotten how to reset this silly thing. There we go. Whoop. Min max, there we go. Okay, so we're ready to go on that. Let's get this started up, and we'll do idle reading, mid RPM, and redline. All right, so it settles into a nice, lopey, healthy idle at about 76 dB, it looks like. There we go. All right. Let's take a look at the min-max settings. 81 is the highest we're getting. Okay. Let's go to mid RPM and hold. Now notice those exhaust pops are going to be higher. It was holding at 91-ish, and I saw it bump to 95. So 95.6. So those pops on the exhaust are considerably louder than the normal exhaust state. So let's clear that out, and we're going to go for red line. Okay, here we go. That was red line. I saw 103 on there. Okay, so what do we have? Oh, it missed it. I saw 103 on there. I'm going to have to redo that one. It missed the minimum maximum setting. Reset. Min max. Okay, we'll do the red line again, but I saw 103 something. That time. So let's see if it has it. 105. It had a 105 on fast response. So there we go. Full tilt boogie, red line, 105 with the factory exhaust. All right, everybody. While we're waiting for the exhaust to cool off, I figure I'll go ahead and weigh the Coffman's exhaust with its clamp. This is everything that goes in there except for one of these little rivets. I don't really care about that. Fraction of an ounce. So we're gonna turn on the scale here, and we'll do it in imperial and metric. How about that? So we're in pounds and ounces right now, zeroed out. So let's put the Coffman's on the scale. 2 pounds 1 ounce. Place it again. 2 pounds 1 ounce. 2 pounds 1 ounce. Okay, so from there, let's pull up the other measurements. So we've got 950 grams, or 0.95 kilogram, 2.1 pounds. 2 pounds 1 ounce. Okay, so there we go. There's our measurement for the Coffman's, and we're going to compare that to the factory exhaust with all of its ancillary pieces, because there's some of the hanger that comes off with that, and I don't know if I'm going to leave the little heel bracket on here or not. That's more important for not letting your passenger or pillion hang their heel down onto the exhaust when it's running, but the Coffman's is going to be shorter than that. It's not even really applicable. I don't know how much this weighs, probably a half a pound for this little bracket right here, but it's separate from the rest of the exhaust. So we'll see in a minute. I'll measure everything all as it is and decide whether I'm putting that little heel bracket back on there. Okay, so removing the factory exhaust is pretty simple. There's just a 12 millimeter nut and bolt here, 12 millimeter nut and bolt for the little guard. That probably doesn't have to come off to get the muffler off, but it's easier because it's kind of sandwiched in there. And then there's a 12 millimeter bolt on the exhaust clamp down here. That's it. So really just loosen that exhaust clamp, get rid of this bolt, and you can probably maneuver the thing out of there without any issues at all. And this is just a muffler. It's a mechanical baffle style where it's just got offset tubes. There's no packing or anything in there that I could determine, and the catalyst is forward. It's in this section here. There's a inline catalyst right there in the center. So pull that loose. Sorry, you guys aren't looking at anything because this chest rig doesn't want to stay forward. That's about it. There we go. Okay, so now this guy falls loose. That comes out of there. And then we just have the 12 millimeter down here on the exhaust clamp pinch bolt. And it doesn't need to come very far out, just a handful of turns probably, and that's plenty. So let's pull the support, and yep, there she goes. So there's the factory exhaust with the heat shield and all the stuff. So, yeah, it's still a little warm. Owie. No! Put this back together. And let's see what all this weighs together. Okay, so we had 2 pounds 1 ounce for the Coffman's. And now we're looking at the OEM units. 6 pounds, 14 ounces, so almost 7 pounds. Let's go to mode. We're looking at exactly 3,100 grams, 3.1 kilograms, 6.9 pounds, so 7 pounds. We're looking at almost a 5-pound weight reduction just between those two units. 950. Yep, 1,000. It's going in 50-gram increments. So, yeah, there you go. It's a pretty stark difference. So now let's go see if it fits. We hope it fits, right? Right? Oh, wait. While we're here, let's do this. Let's see how much this bracket alone weighs in case somebody wanted to leave their heel guard on there. I don't know what they're going to tie that part to, though, because that's going to pivot. We'll weigh it just for giggles, but I'm not putting it back on. 300 grams for that. So, yeah. It would need a second bolt to go through the front of that. Oh, wait, no, hang on, I missed something. I missed 2 pieces. Oh. No, let's reweigh. These dampers don't need to be on there, right? Right. All right, so I missed that. I missed a couple of dampers. Let's see what the weight is now. 3,150. Yeah, so 50 more grams. Anyway, you get the point. Okay, so let's see if we can get the Coffmans on there. Hopefully everything fits. I'll go ahead and take this with me because I think that's going to go right away. I'm just going to take all the stuff with me. How about that? We'll just install this puppy, hoping that it works on the first try. Okay, here we go. Coffman's on the way in, we hope. Now, why I have a drill and a rivet with me are because the Coffman's has a set rivet on here. I need to loosen this clamp a little bit to get it all the way off there. It has a set rivet that prevents the exhaust from basically blowing off of the end because we're no longer locating it with anything here, so it has to have some way to mechanically fix it securely to the pipe besides just the clamp. So if the clamp were to loosen up, you wouldn't want your exhaust to go flying off down the road. So it has a hole right here that you drill. It's a 9/64 hole, and actually my bit is a little bigger than that, but we're just going to use that. So a 9/64 hole through the end of the exhaust, and then you cinch them together. So we'll get to that. But let's see. Oh yeah, it's got just a little bit of slack. That's good. It could use to be maybe a millimeter tighter, a 1/16 or something, but get it all the way on there and it's going to clamp tight. Yeah, that's good. It's real good. I like that. Oh man, that looks great. I likey. Cool. So I'm going to pull this exhaust shroud here. I need a 10 mil. I'm going to pull this exhaust shroud off so I can get to that under there and figure out where my pilot hole is going to be. I'm going to mark it, score it, and then pull this off, drill through, and we're going to put some ultra copper gasket sealer on here around the inner perimeter of this and on the pipe and skin that up a little bit and give it a really good seal. Cool. I want to wrap my exhaust too with that DEI header wrap. I might do that today. That's a thought. I should really pull the entire exhaust to do that. It's much easier than trying to get by this frame rail and all that. And I need to spray it with some silicone prep stuff. That is the cat right there, ladies and gents. That little section right there is your catalytic converter. Man, that is a thick honking pipe. Look how thick that pipe is. Wow, this has got to be a seriously heavy exhaust. All right, so if we slip that down onto there, I need to get the angle set in such a way that it looks right. I mean, width is not going to be a problem. It doesn't stick out any, not even as far as the foot peg does, so that's excellent. As far as facing angle, I think about like that would be ideal. Yeah. Maybe I should get a level and make this perfectly flat to the world. What I'm really after is to get the Coffman's logo facing straight out. Maybe rotate up just a hair. What do you think? What do you think? I think about right there. Yeah. And they asked me if I wanted one that was all blacked out or with the traditional red nameplate, and I said, no, absolutely. Send me one with the nameplate on it. You guys are so nice to send me a prototype. I'm definitely going to advertise the pipe for your name. So there it is. And it matches the other red accents I've got all over it. So nice. You likey. Okay, so we haven't done a sound test yet. I need to drill that thing on there. It's definitely going to stay on. So now we'll just mark the little set hole. And there we go. I'm going to punch that all the way through. I might go get a little magnet from inside the garage to put right there. Catch the filings. I'll fish around in there with a magnet after the fact. Need to get this done. I get into this whole perfection thing and forgetting I'm on a timetable here because the sun is setting. Trying to keep you guys on the action. Man, that is a seriously thick pipe. Wow, I need to go get some penetrating oil, cool off that bit. Oh my God, that's thick. Look how thick that pipe is, man. Nope, that was it. Bound up the bit. Okay, God, look how thick that pipe is. Goodness. Okay, I'm gonna get a magnet and fish out the little bits in there. Fish around down in here and get all the little shavings that I just dropped in. I'm not really picking up much. I feel the catalytic converter right there. I'm butting out against it. And these little shavings aren't going to cause any problem later. They're just going to blow out the exhaust. I'm not really too concerned. But I can pick them all up from here so I don't get them in my knees, right? That's a lot of shavings. Okay, then put that away. All right, so now I'm going to put I need to clean this off. I'll go grab some acetone out of the garage. I should have gotten that while I was up, right? Clean this off. That way the RTV or gasket maker has got something good to adhere to. Okay, couldn't find the can of acetone, so brake cleaner is next up. Okay then, give it one more quick little rub down, and that is it for the prep. And I'll throw a thick flat bead of silicone on the pipe side here, and then a thin bead around the inner surface of the muffler. Let that skin just a bit for a few minutes and tack up, and then mount it up. Be done with this. Can't wait to hear the sound. Wanted to show you guys what the inside of these look like. I don't know if I can get it at the right angle for the camera lens, but it's just straight through. It's got a V-shaped diverter that opens up into a hollow perforated core. You can kind of see it from this angle as well, if I can get the sun just right. So yeah, it's there's nothing to rebuild with these. They're just really excellent construction. All stainless steel through and through. It's just amazing. Okay, I gooped up both surfaces, the pipe and the inner diameter of the muffler, and they've been skinning up for about, I don't know, maybe a minute or two, and I'm going to get a good goopy seal here and just clean up that extra before it dries. And let's go ahead and throw the rivet in there as a locating pin before I cinch it all up. Oh, I forgot to put my stupid clamp on there. Now I got to pull it off again. Derp. Screwed up, see? Getting ahead of myself. Clamp is going to be facing the inside away from me, preferably. Put that all the way down there, and I'll clean that up in a moment. The trick is you got to get the clamp far enough back to get through the hole. I wasn't remembering my order of operations properly here. Alright, give it a good wiggle. Let that stuff settle in. And let me find the locating hole. Oh, it's there somewhere. There it is. Right there. Cool. So I'm going to clean the stuff up before it dries. Doesn't need all that extra. And use a rag that you don't care about because it's never coming out. Normally I use paper towels for this, but I already had this rag out here and it was ready to go, so it's sacrificial at this point. Okay, so it's located. Let's clean it off, put it in the correct direction. And pop it in. Did I find it? Did I find it? Yep, that's it right there. Okay, cinch it up. If I can get the silly gun on there. Oh, I've got one in there. No wonder I can't get it out of there. Yeah, I've got to find some pliers. I had a previous bite in there that didn't come out. I have a previous rivet that is bound up in the jaw, and it refuses to let go. I pulled the tip out of it, and it still refuses to let go. I have to get some vice grips and see if I can get a better grip on this bad boy, but it just does not want to come out. It is bound up in the tool and refuses to let it come out of there. I don't know if you guys can see that on camera. It is just stuck in the tool. And drawing up does me no good. I might have to go buy a new rivet gun. This sucks. This really sucks, man. Okay, I'm back. I'm armed with a new rivet gun. 15 bucks, you know. They're not expensive, but man, I can't believe that rivet got so tied up in the other gun that it just would not come out. It's not worth the time trying to tear that thing apart. Just go get a new one. Running out of daylight here. The sun is starting to get low on the horizon. So anyway, I got the rivet turned around and draw it up. Boink. There it goes. And she's poignant now, unless I drill it out. Okay, so we'll slide the clamp down over that. Trying to keep you on camera here, sorry for the crazy camera action. Clean that extra silicone up that is already well cured by now, and get it down kind of in the middle of the clamping area, just a little bit above the end of the flange, and we'll give her a twist. And these are supposed to be tightened down to 9 foot-pounds according to Coffman's documentation. I don't know exactly where 9 foot-pounds is, but it's 9 girts. I'll get there. And I'm turning that with the bolt facing in. The factory one had it facing out here, but with this clamp, and if I put this heat shroud back up here, it's going to be just invisible from the outside. Okay, that's good and tight right there. It's about 8 or 10 foot-pounds right there. I'm just going to leave it. Call it good enough. The rivet's on there, so it's definitely not going anywhere. I've got plenty of gasket sealer on there, so it's got a good clean connection back to the rest of this to get out. So I'm going to clean that off with a little bit of brake cleaner and get rid of my Uzis here and do the sound test. Okay, everybody, install is complete, and man, does that look good. Look at that. The exhaust shield there, you know, for the center portion of the pipe could afford to be crunched down a little bit to look more in line with the exhaust, because that's so much smaller now. Or it could just go away completely, but then obviously you've got all the heat issue with it radiating up toward your foot and the rest of the lower case of the motor there. But anyway, it looks pretty good, and I'm going to leave it exactly like that. It looks great. I did cheat. I started it up a minute ago to see how it sounds. Oh, it's glorious. I didn't get the readings off of it, but we're going to find out. So let's go ahead and reset min-max on this guy. I didn't see it reset. Okay, so we know for sure it's reset. Let's set it back to min-max. Come on. Thank you. There it goes. All right. Test. That one's running. Okay, cool. So let's start this up. Oh, it sounds so good. I let it run for maybe a minute earlier. So the engine's not cold, but it's not hot either. It's not even, you know, warm to the touch. So there's the new sound. And it's actually quieter at idle than the factory exhaust. How is that possible with such a small can? I love it. Look at this. 75, 76. If I remember right, the other one was 78 to 82. I'll have to look back on my numbers. I could be wrong. But it sounds so much better. It doesn't have that huffy sound to it that it did. It's still very throaty, very deep, but it doesn't have that huffy, raspy sound that the factory exhaust had. So we're going to run it up to mid RPM and check our levels, and then we'll do a red line test again. Probably about half. 95. And then those pops, I saw it go to 97. So it's got the same decel pops that the factory exhaust had. And I am going to put the Fuelix controller on here now. I might do that tonight. 98 is what the pop got, but it was about 95 normal. Let's do one more of those. We'll reset out. All right, let's do it again. About 95. I don't know how high I'm revving it. I have no idea. Without attack, it's hard to know where you're at. So that's at 96.7, a little bit lower because I didn't get one of those pops on the decel. Reset it. And try one more time. Get 97 that time. I think I was up higher this time through. 98.6 that time. We'll give it one more shot because I think I ran up high that time. I was closer to the rev limiter on that run. There we go. All right, let's try to get it in the mid-range and keep it there. About half right there. 96.9. Yeah, so we're pretty consistent right around 96, 97 dB for mid-range. So let's reset that and go for broke. See what it sounds like on full tilt. Oh, come on, get back to the min-max. There it is. All right, here we go. That's full red line. That's hitting the rev limiter. 106.5. So we're almost identical to what it was with the factory exhaust. It's not any louder at full tilt. It's about the same at mid-range, and it's quieter, definitely to the ear, it's quieter at idle. I love it. Reset it. So sitting here at idle, it's 75, 76 dB, somewhere in that ballpark. It's really good. I like it. And it looks so much better. Oh man, does it look better. It just blends right in. It follows the lines of the bike, and the red accents with the Coffman's nameplate on there match the red Hunter, the red Royal Enfield on the tank, the red stripes on the wheels. I'm happy. I like it. Anyway, I'm going to take it out for a ride, guys. Actually, I'll probably do a quick little live stream here for the members only, and see who wants to see this thing live and in person before I take it out for a spin. Catch up with you later.